Welcome back, my students. Dr. Ugwe here, and today I bring you a new chapter from Guide and Physiology, that is Origin and Conduction of Cardiac Impulse. It is chapter 32, and today we are going to study two learning objectives, that's pathway of the electrical excitation of the heart, and we are going to study the functional significance of the AV nodal delay. No need to write anything. My handwritten notes are in the description of this lecture. Let's begin with a little introduction. We are talking about a human heart. This human heart has a property of self-excitation. That means it excites on its own. We do not need to give any external stimulus. When it excites, it undergoes contraction. So heart contracts, and these contractions are responsible for blood flow. Is that clear? So a heart contracts or it excites. When we measured these excitations, they came out to be 100,000 times per day. Or when we measured them, that's 3 billion times in an average life of a human being. So our heart, it undergoes excitations, it undergoes contractions 100,000 times each day. How is a heart able to contract so many times? It is because of two functions of the heart. Those functions are: a heart generates its own impulses and it conducts these impulses to different parts of heart. So a heart generates its own impulses and it conducts these impulses to different parts of the heart. Because of these two functions of heart, a heart can excite 100,000 times each day, and that's a huge number. Now moving onwards. So what are we studying? We are studying heart. We know every living tissue is made up of cells. Similarly, a heart is also made up of cells. Clear? But among all the cells of the heart, not all cells of the heart can undergo self-excitations. So in heart, there are presence of some specialized cardiac fibers. These specialized cardiac fibers can undergo self-excitation. That means not all the cells of the heart can undergo self-excitation. Only few cells of the heart can undergo self-excitation, and these are specialized cardiac fibers, and these are called pacemaker cells. These are called pacemaker cells. So pacemaker cells are those cells of heart which have the property of self-excitation. These pacemaker cells are seen in SA node. They are seen in AV bundle. They are seen in Purkinje fibers. So these parts of heart can undergo self-excitations because in these parts of heart there is presence of pacemaker cells. Now let's talk about this SA node in detail. So this SA node, sinoatrial node. This sinoatrial node is called dominant pacemaker of heart. Why is it called pacemaker of heart? Because it can undergo self-excitation because of the presence of pacemaker cells. But why is it called dominant pacemaker of heart? Because it has highest rate of impulse generation. So sinoatrial node generates maximum impulses. AV bundle, Purkinje fiber, these also generate impulses, but highest number of impulses are generated by SA node. So SA node is known as dominant pacemaker of the heart, and because of this property, SA node is responsible for heart rate generation. So if anyone asks you which part of heart generates heart rate, you can say with confidence that it is SA node, because SA node is called a dominant pacemaker of the heart. Is that clear, my students? Now moving forward, let's make a structure of heart. Let's suppose this is a rough diagram of a heart. Clear? This right here is right atrium. This right here is left atrium. This right here is right ventricle, and this right here is left ventricle. Is that clear? In this heart, there is a presence of this structure in right atrium. This structure is called the sinoatrial node that we talked about, and this sinoatrial node generates heart rate. Where is the sinoatrial node present? It is present in posterior, superior, and lateral part of right atrium. Is that clear? So where are the impulses generated in a heart? They are generated in SA node. Now we will see where these impulses go. As you can see from the diagram, this SA node is located in the posterior, superior, and the lateral part of the right atrium. And this SA node fibers are in close contact with the cells of the right atrium. So when the sinoatrial node generates heart rate, it generates impulses, it gives its impulses to the cells of right atrium. So from SA node, the impulses go to the cells of right atrium. Is that clear? Now the impulses go to the first cell of right atrium, then to the second cell of right atrium, then to the third cell of right atrium, then to the fourth cell of right atrium. Is that clear? So the impulses travel in the atrial cells with the speed of 0.3 meter per second. Is that clear? Impulses are generated in SA node. SA node is in close contact with the cells of right atrium, and now the impulses travel in the cells of right atrium with a speed of 0.3 meter per second. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, in the heart, there is presence of a band. That band is called anterior interatrial band. As you can get from the name, anterior, it is present in the anterior part. Interatrial, it is present between the two atria. So it is this band. Anterior interatria, it is present in the anterior part of the atria, and it is interatrial between the two atria. That means it connects right atrium with left atrium. So when the impulses go to SA node, when the impulses are generated in SA node, they go to the cells of the right atrium. The impulses also go to the anterior interatrial band, and because of this anterior interatrial band, impulses travel from right atrium to the left atrium. But here is a catch: the speed of the impulse in the anterior interatrial band is 1 meter per second. So speed in cells is 0.3 meter per second, but speed in anterior interatrial band is 1 meter per second. Is that clear? Now moving forward, there is another structure in the heart that is called AV node. It is located here below the right atrium. Below the right atrium, this is AV node. AV node. Clear? Impulses travel in the cells of the right atrium, and through this anterior interatrial band, the impulses go to the left atrium, so that the atria contract simultaneously. So the both atria contract simultaneously. Is that clear? Now the impulses go from SA node to the AV node through three bands: 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. These bands are called anterior, middle, and posterior internodal pathways. Why are they called internodal? Because they are between two nodes. They are between sinoatrial node and AV node. Is that clear? This anterior internodal pathway is located in the anterior wall of the atria. This middle is located in the lateral wall of atrias, and this posterior is located in the posterior wall. So through these three bands, 1, 2, and 3, impulses go from sinoatrial node to the AV node. Is that clear? And the speed of the impulse in these three pathways is also 1 meter per second. 1 meter per second. Is that clear? So SA node generates heart rate. It gives the impulses to the right atrium, and through this band, anterior interatrial band, that's here, the impulses go to the left atrium, so that atrias contract simultaneously, and the impulses also go from sinoatrial node to the atrioventricular node through these three pathways, and the speed is 1 meter per second. Now here is another thing: why the speed in this band and these three bands is 1 meter per second, and why the speed in the cells of right atrium is 0.3 meter per second? Why? What is the reason behind that? Look right here. This is a histology of a cardiac muscle. As you can see, This right here is one cardiac muscle cell, and this right here is another cardiac muscle cell. And between two cardiac muscle cells, there is presence of intercalated disc. Intercalated disc. And in these intercalated discs, there is presence of gap junctions, which communicates one cell to the next. If there are more number of gap junctions, the speed of the impulse will be more. But if there will be less number of gap junctions at intercalated discs, the speed will be less. So we can say that in these three internodal pathways and in this interatrial band, the number of gap junctions are more, while as in the cells of the right atrium or the cells of the left atrium as such, the gap junctions are less. Is that clear? Now the impulse reach the AV node. But before the impulse are reaching the AV node, I will tell you the concept of fibrous annulus. As you can see in this diagram, this part right here is called fibrous annulus. What is the function of this fibrous annulus? It acts as an insulator. What does that mean? It means that when the impulses are generated in SA node, they travel through right atria, they travel through left atria, clear? And they reach this fibrous annulus. But this fibrous annulus does one thing: it is an insulator. It does not allow these impulses to go into ventricles. Is that clear? It is a plastic tissue. It is an insulator. It is not allowing the impulses to go into the right ventricle or the left ventricle. So the only electrical window is AV node. So in this fibrous annulus, there is AV node. So this is the only path through which impulses go from atria to the ventricles, because rest is insulating. Rest of the fibrous annulus is insulator. It is not allowing the impulses to go through. Is that clear? So what did we study so far? We studied the impulses are generated in SC node. Through the SC node, they go to the AV node. Clear? And because it is the only electrical window, and through AV node, it goes to the penetrating portion of AV bundle, and after that it goes to the distal portion of AV bundle, and then it goes to the ventricles. Here we have the penetrating portion of the AV bundle, then we have the distal portion of the AV bundle, then it goes to the ventricles. Clear? Now it takes the impulse 0.03 seconds to go from sinoatrial node to AV node. So 0.03 seconds is taken by the impulse to go from sinoatrial node to atrioventricular node. And in this atrioventricular node, there is a delay that is called AV nodal delay. There is a delay called AV nodal delay. This AV nodal delay occurs for 0.09 seconds. What does that mean? When the impulses begin in SA node, it takes 0.03 seconds to go and reach AV node. When the impulses are in the AV node stops these impulses for 0.09 seconds. That is called a physiological AV nodal delay. Why is it important? We know this is right here is the ventricle, and this right here is the atria. We need the ventricles in a relaxed state. So that all the blood from the atria comes into the ventricles. When the blood is filled in the ventricles, then the ventricles will contract. Is that clear? So for this adequate ventricular relaxation, when the atrias are contracting, we need some time. This time is given by this AV nodal delay of 0.09 seconds. So the AV node holds these impulses for 0.09 seconds so that the ventricles will be relaxed and all the bloods from the contracting atria come in the ventricles, and then the ventricles will contract after 0.09 seconds. Is that clear? So this AV nodal is physiological. That means it is natural. It is important for proper ventricular relaxation when the atria is contracting, and that's why AV node is called gatekeeper of heart. Is that clear? So in AV node, there is another delay of 0.09 seconds. Is that clear? Now the impulses from AV node go to the penetrating portion of the AV bundle. I will show you that diagrammatically. Here is the diagram. From SA node, the impulses go through internodal pathways, these three internodal pathways, clear, to the AV node. It takes 0.03 seconds from SA node to AV node, and in AV node there is a delay of 0.09 seconds. Then the impulses go to the penetrating portion of the AV bundle, and in this penetrating portion of the AV bundle there is another delay of 0.04 seconds. And then the impulses go to the distal portion of the AV bundle, and then to the left and the right bundle branch, which is in the ventricles. We will talk about this part in the next video. Is that clear? So this was the diagrammatic representation. I will show you now the diagrams of the Guyton. Here we have the sinus node, we have the 1, 2 and 3 internodal pathways. This is the AV node, we have the AV bundle, right and the left bundle branch, and this part is the ventricles. And another diagram, that is this. So the impulses come in the AV node. This was the diagram I showed you some minutes ago. Now moving forward, so the impulse go from SA node to AV node, then to the penetrating portion of the AV bundle there is another delay of 0.04 seconds, then to the distal portion of AV bundle, then to the ventricle. This part we will study in the next video. So what is the total delay? So the total delay is 0.03 plus 0.09 and 0.04, that is equal to 0.16 seconds of delay. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear? So the impulses are begin in SA node and they reach the AV node, then penetrating portion of AV bundle, then to the distal portion of the AV bundle. This AV bundle has an important property. This AV bundle has an important property. That is, it does not let the impulses go backwards. It does not let the impulses go backwards. So the impulses only travel from atria to the ventricles, and the impulses from the ventricles do not travel from ventricles to the atria because of this AV bundle. That means there is one-way flow. One way. This is an important characteristics of the AV bundle, that it allows the impulses to go from atria to the ventricles, and it does not impulses to go from ventricles to the atria. So this was our concept of the pathway of the electrical excitation. Clear? Now I will show you my notes. These are the notes. You will find these notes in my Telegram channel. Go check them out. Impulses generate in SA node, then they go to anterior interatrial band, then the impulses go to the left atrium. Similarly, they go to anterior, middle and posterior internodal pathways, then the impulses go to AV node, then penetrating portion of AV bundle, then distal portion. This part we will study in the next video. Clear? This is the diagram. These are my videos. You will find them. Why is AV node called the gatekeeper of heart? You know that. Go check these video notes out. Thank you very much. Keep studying, keep revising. Thank you very much. Your Dr. Ugwe here.